Hey you guys, it's Allis. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not new, then of course, thank you guys so much for coming back. So guys, for today's video, I'm bringing you none other than this cool toned drugstore makeup beat. I am typically not a cool toned type of girl, but today I decided to switch it up using products from the drugstore. Actually, some of my favorite products in this video were under $5, you guys. I am blown away. So I'm gonna break down how to get this makeup look. It might look difficult, but I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. Listen girl, if you got some makeup brushes and you got some patience, you can do this makeup look. So anyways, you guys, please keep watching. So if you guys are hearing any background noise, it's actually my fan. It's actually very hot as balls in here right now. Not to mention all these studio lights are seriously not helping my situation. So I have a little fan on. I have to leave it on because if not, I'm probably gonna die of heat exhaustion. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is take a bit of the Wet n Wild Cucumber Photo Focus primer water. I've actually gone through quite a few of these, and I spray it that generously. I literally let it sit on my face, and it feels so refreshing, especially in situations like this where it's super hot right now in my room. So really helps, but it feels good. I let that sit on my face for a little bit. The reason that I do this is mainly because whenever I'm about to start makeup, my face is usually very dry. Even though I do have oily combination skin, that takes a while for that to fully kick in. It's not immediate, it's not instant, and usually right after I wash my face or I'm fresh out of the shower, my skin, it needs that like moisture to be put back into it that I've stripped from it, especially after I freshly cleanse my face in the morning. So I feel like after I moisturize, which I've already moisturized, I like to apply a little bit of this. I don't know if it's just a mental thing, but it makes me feel like I'm kind of locking everything in. I'm really prepping my face. Not only that, but it does also help to make you feel a lot more refreshed. So that's the reason I always like to go in with a primer water. So now that my face is dry, I'm going straight into face. So I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Now, I really love this primer. I think a lot of people compare it to the Tatcha one. I've never used the Tatcha one. I can only speak for this one, but I think this is truly a great product to really help conceal and really fill in your pores. It keeps the skin really velvety, really soft, and it actually works in really minimizing the appearance of your pores. I've noticed a huge difference when I use this from when I don't use this, and the way that I use it is I just take a little bit on my middle finger here, disperse it between both hands, and I literally just push it into the areas of my skin that I know that I have pores in. I don't really use this anywhere else on my skin. I don't feel like primer is something that I need to be like slathering everywhere on my skin. Usually I'll just push this into my skin like this, and I feel like that's what gives me the best outcome in really covering my pores versus kind of rubbing it on my face like that. I just push it into my skin like this, and I feel like that's the way that it really absorbs into my pores. For foundation, I'm taking the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid Foundation Plus Hydrating Serum. Now, this foundation is really funny because I discovered it around January, and it has been my favorite foundation literally ever since then. It just makes my skin look so healthy, and it gives me a dewy finish without being greasy. And if you're an oily girl or a combination girl, then you totally understand and probably can relate to what I'm saying. A lot of times we can't get away with wearing a dewy foundation because literally within an hour we're gonna look completely oily, completely greasy, and that is definitely not a look we're going for here. It really gives me a naturally dewy finish without it being over the top. Is this a kind of foundation that I can wear for like literally 12 hours and expect it to look beautiful? No, because at the end of the day I will look oily. However, I do get a good 6 to 7 hours out of this, and my skin looks really healthy. I wanted to use this because it truly is one of my favorites, and as you guys can see, I'm clearly starting to run through it. This on the e.l.f. sponge. Guys, this is just one layer of the foundation, and you guys see what I mean. It instantly gives you this beautiful like glow from within, this beautiful finish. You can still see my freckles through, which is really important for me. I'm not trying to make them disappear at all, but it gives me such a nice finish, and I love this foundation. It instantly color corrected me, and it just made my skin look so good. So we're gonna do brows now. I'm going to actually start off with the e.l.f. Micro, what is this called? Wait, hold on. No, actually a new one because I ran through the last one that I had. I'm gonna use this to kind of outline my brows. I've kind of been taking a new approach when filling in my brows because naturally I have these more like unruly brows. I've kind of been loving embracing my natural texture on my brows. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but if you have really unruly, kind of like coarser brows, curlier brows like me, then you know what I'm talking about when I say textured brows. But I feel like lately I've been embracing that a lot more and not trying to have these like perfectly groomed, perfect brows. I've been into more of like a messy brow look. What I'm doing is taking a brow pencil and I will literally outline the bottom. You always want to remember, the lighter strokes, the more natural it's going to be. You don't want to do one long line under your eyebrow because what kind of hair grows like that? So you want to mimic brow hairs, and brow hairs are short. So you want to kind of create those small feathered strokes. Some people don't like to outline the top of their brow, but to be honest, I do, just because I do have a lot of sparse areas on the top of my brow. So I just can't get away with not doing anything on the top. So I take that same method and I apply it towards the top, just really short, small strokes on the top. And here is the finished brow right here. I haven't really cleaned anything up yet, but I really don't have much to clean up. I like the way it looks. I feel like I'm embracing my natural brow texture. I feel like I'm kind of using what I have and filling in the areas that I don't have and kind of sticking with my natural shape. I don't have a really arched brow. I don't have a super thick brow. I also don't have a super thin brow. I'm kind of just working with the shape that I have, and I feel like that's what results in the most natural brow. Today I'm actually going to be using the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow, and this is this little quad in the Truffles shade. So yeah, the reason that this one got my attention is because these are cool tone shades, and I'm not a cool tone type of girl. I am a warm tone girl. I love my golds, I love my coppers, I love my warm browns, and I'm just not a cool toned or even neutral type of girl. But this little quad spoke to me because of the fact that the shades are not something that I would typically go for, and I kind of like that. I kind of wanted to challenge myself and do something that I wouldn't normally do. I've heard amazing things about these little quads from e.l.f. They only cost $3. I got this one at Target, so I'm going to try to make it work with this. I'm going to go in with this brown shade right here, and this will be my transition. Before I do that though, I do want to set down some tape because I do want something really blown out and very smoky. So for that reason, I do want to set some tape down on the edge of my eye. I know I already did foundation, but whatever. I still haven't done concealer, so that's okay. This has become one of my favorite blending brushes. This is the Luxie 250 Large Eye Blending Blush. I can never talk. Blending brush. This is what it looks like. The larger and the fluffier your blending brush is, the more it's going to distribute that product, and whatever shade you're using is not going to have as much pigment when you're applying it with a bigger, fluffier brush like this, just because it's larger. Oh wow. This is very, very pigmented. You guys see I'm working this in circular motions on the edge and then bringing whatever's left in. Every time somebody tells me that they don't know how to do makeup, I'm always like, but why? Sis, like, this is not hard. I really feel like when it comes to makeup, practice is everything. I always feel like when people say, oh my god, but like, I don't know how to do makeup, I always tell them, no, it's not that you don't know how to do makeup. It's that you don't want to. You don't want to apply yourself to do makeup, because I truly feel like anybody can learn this skill. So many people always say that they don't know how to do makeup and they'll never get it right, and it's like, sis, you just don't care to try. That's just the reality. I can't judge the rest of the shades, but so far so good on this little $3 e.l.f. quad. Like, the way this is coming on is so nice. It's so buildable, which I really love. You guys obviously saw how it looked when it started, and now it's really built up. It's definitely more of like a neutral, cool toned-ish brown. Love that. I love how that looks. Wow, these are amazing. I only bought this one because I'm like the queen of buying more than I actually need, and I'm also really, really good at just blowing money on things that I've never tried before. Like, the old me would have bought every single one without even knowing if they were good. So I refrained. I just bought one, and I'm like, Allis, try it, and if you like it, go back for the others. And now I'm kicking myself for doing this because just by this one little shade, it's so freaking good that I just feel like, why didn't you get all the other freaking quads? So I'm thinking about taking this shade here with my finger. Oh my god, that is so pigmented. Holy crap. Guys, this is $3. I'm like shocked right now. Sis, are you kidding me right now? e.l.f. is coming for our necks, y'all. These high-end brands better watch out, because e.l.f. is coming for their necks. Elf is coming for the next. I'm literally shooketh. I'm shooketh to the coreth. That's just 2 of the shades, you guys. They look so good and so true to color. Sometimes I truly feel like your finger is the best tool. I'm just taking it back to basics, y'all. Just use your finger for the best color payoff. I do want to do a smoky shadow liner, so I'm going to take this black shade right here. It has really, really subtle like shimmers in it. I'm assuming this is going to be very pigmented. However, this is the true test because I feel like blacks are really, really hard to nail. I love that I have the tape because this is really going to help be a great guide. Wow, the black's not bad, guys. Is it the best black? Is it the creamiest black? No. However, it's getting it done and it's not patchy. And it's definitely a black. It's not like a dark gray. So I'm going to take this small tapered blending brush right here. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this deep brown here, or the deeper brown, the one that I haven't used yet, and I'm just going to use this to help blend up that wing right there. I don't want that wing to be really, really defined. If you're going to do this, it's important that you use some sort of a small tapered blending brush of some sort, just because that really helps you get in there and really define the area. If I was to use that big fluffy brush that I used in the beginning, what that's going to do is that's going to really disperse that dark color everywhere, and that's not really what I'm looking for. The smaller the brush, the more control you have in keeping the color in a specific area. So now I'm taking some concealer. By the way, I'm using the e.l.f. Camel Concealer. I don't know if I told you guys that. I'll clean up my under eye area. I'll be using the Ardell Remy lashes. These are the number 778. Talked about these in my best drugstore lashes video. They're so beautiful and they really just give you some volume without completely disappearing whatever you have going on your eyelids, especially if you have hooded eyes like me. Very importante. What we're going to do is just smoke out the lower lash line a little bit because I feel like I need a little bit of a little shum down there. So now I'm going to take the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This used to be my favorite bronzer like a year or 2 ago, and I stopped using it, and now I don't know why I stopped because this is really such a good bronzer. It's buildable, it's buttery, it's smooth, and it's $10. What I'm going to do now is just take a little bit of this e.l.f. Modern Metals palette. This is definitely one of my favorites. I got this last year and I continue to run back to this palette for blush just because I love the peachy tones that these blushes have. Ew, did I have this white thing on my lips the whole time? I'm going to be lining out my lips with the Morphe Sweet Tea Lip Liner. Then I'm just going to use my Revlon Supernatural lip gloss. I feel like no matter what tones you're using, whether it's cool, warm, neutral, it looks great regardless because it is a very sheer lip gloss. And now to just set everything in place, I'm using my favorite drugstore setting spray, and it is the Milani Make It Last. Alright, you guys, and that is going to complete this cool toned smoky drugstore makeup look. I absolutely love the way this look turned out. I hope you guys did too. I hope you learned a few new things. Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. We are growing every day by the second, and I'm so grateful and I'm so happy. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.